Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Mr. Cobalt, and today in this video we are going to go over formula mass and molar mass. Now I had gone over molar mass in an earlier video, but we're going to review that and we're going to apply it to formulas. So in that last video we're talking about molar mass in general and how you can find the molar mass by going to your periodic table, because the molar mass is the exact same thing as the average atomic mass that you find on your periodic table for each of the elements. But instead of AMUs for the mass unit for a single atom, you can convert that to the units of grams per mole. It's going to be the exact same number, except the units are going to be different. So that's going to apply to formulas as well, where you have more than one atom, right? So when you're trying to find the formula mass, that's the same as finding the atomic mass of an atom, but now you have more than one atom. You have a molecule, or maybe you have a formula unit if you're dealing with an ionic substance. But everything is the same. All you're going to have to do is just look up the atomic masses on the periodic table for each of the elements, and then make sure that you multiply by the subscript, because you need to add up all of the atoms in your molecule, and then the sum, the total that you get for each element in your molecule or your substance is going to be what is called the formula mass. So, for example, I have two examples that I'm going to go over. So if I wanted to find the formula mass of this substance here, this is glucose, a simple sugar. And by looking at the formula, you can see that it has 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, and 6 oxygens. And so if I want to find the total formula mass, then what I need to do is I'm going to look up on my periodic table the atomic mass of carbon, and I know I have 6 carbons, so I'm going to take that atomic mass and multiply by 6. So I looked that up on my periodic table. The atomic mass of carbon is 12.011. Okay, and I'm going to multiply that by 6 because that's how many carbons I have. And then I'm going to add to that the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing for hydrogen. I have 12 hydrogens. I look up the atomic mass for hydrogen. That's going to be 1.008. And since I have 12 hydrogens, I'm going to multiply that by 12. And then I'm going to add the oxygens. So I have 6 oxygens. I look up on my periodic table. It's going to be pretty close to 16. Some tables have 15.9994 or 99, however you want to do it, or 16. I'm just going to say 16. So it's 16.00. And then since I have 6 oxygens, I'm going to multiply that by 6. And then I get the total. So if I calculate that on my calculator, so I have 12.011 times 6. Okay, I'm going to add to that 1.008 times 2. And then I'm going to add to that 16.00 times 6. And then equals. And I get 170.08. Okay, let me just try that again because I want to double check. So I have 6 carbons, 12, and 16. Okay, let me try that again. That doesn't seem right. So 12.0011. Oops. Hold on a second. So 12.011 times 6 plus 1.008 times 12 plus 16 times 6 equals, oh, that's much better. So it should be 180.162. So I get 180.162. So 162, and that's going to be the formula mass. Now, if it's the formula mass, then this is going to be the mass of one molecule. This is a molecule. It's a molecular substance. There's no ions here. So this one molecule would be this many AMUs, or atomic mass units. So that would be the formula mass of one of these. Now, so I would my AMU. So that would be the mass of one molecule of glucose. Now, the great thing about this is, in the same way that we saw that the atomic mass of an atom is the exact same number for the molar mass, except now with molar mass, you just, instead of atomic mass units, you have the grams per mole. The exact same thing applies to molecules with more than one atom, because you're just adding up the atomic masses. So, in the same way that this formula mass is 180.162 AMUs, I can also express that as 180.162 grams per mole. So that tells me that if I have 1 mole of glucose, then that should be equal to 180.162 grams of glucose. So that is, again, we're the same number for formula mass and molar mass, except the units are different. So if I am talking about one molecule, then I'm using AMUs. If I'm talking about a mole of molecules, remember a mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. So if I have a mole of molecules, then it's going to be the same number in grams per 1 mole. And that's great. So these are really easy to calculate. So let's do another example. Now here in this example, they give you the name of the substance, not the formula. So it's really important that you know how to name substances and go from the name to the formula. So for example, this is an ionic substance. Calcium is a metal. Nitrate is a polyatomic ion. So you need to know what the formula is and the charge on your nitrate, as well as on the calcium. So you would go to your periodic table, calcium. That's the first part. So calcium Ca. Calcium is an element in group 2A. It is not a transition element. So that means it has 1 charge, and the group number is going to determine the charge. So since it's a group 2A, it has a 2+ charge. So it has a 2+ charge. And then you have nitrate. You have to know what nitrate is. So it's NO3-. So I have my ions, I have the charges. Now I need to figure out the formula. So the formula, I need, since I have a 2+ here and I have a 1 here, I need 2 of these to balance the charge here because of the 0 charge rule for the ionic compounds. So you can figure out that way. You could also do the crisscross method, right? So I do a 2 down here and a 1 down there. We don't write the 1s, so it's just Ca. And then since I have 2 of my nitrates, I need a parentheses. So NO3, 2. So there's my formula. So without the formula, I can't find the formula mass and I can't get the molar mass. So now that I've determined what the formula is, and I was able to do that because I know the name of the substance and I know how to go from the name to the formula. Okay, so if you don't know how to do that, please go to an earlier video. I'll link it in the section below. So here's my formula. Now I can calculate the formula mass. So I have calcium. So I'm going to have to look up in my periodic table calcium. So calcium is 40.08. So for calcium, I have 40.08. For the atomic mass, I only have 1. So multiply that by 1. Now I'm going to have to do the inside here. So notice I have a subscript here, number 2. So whatever is inside the parentheses, I need to multiply that by 2 to get the total number of that element. So since I only have 1 nitrogen inside, 1 times 2 gives me 2, so that's going to be 2. So nitrogen has an atomic mass of 14.01, something like that. And then I'm going to multiply that by 2. So multiply that by 2. And so now I have the nitrogen, and now finally I have oxygen. I have 3 oxygens on the inside. I have to multiply that by 2 to get the total number of oxygens. So 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to have to multiply that by 6. So I'm going to add the oxygens. Remember, oxygen is 16.00. I'm going to multiply by 6. And now all I do is I add all of those together using my calculator. So I'm going to do 40.08, okay, times 1. Don't really need to do that, but then I'm going to add 14.01 times 2 plus, and then 16.00 times 6 equals, and I get 164.1. So I get 164.1. Okay, and again, this number, if it's the formula mass, then that's going to be in AMU. So if I am calculating the mass of just one of these formula units, then it's AMUs. If I am calculating the mass or the molar mass, where it's the mass of 1 mole of the substance, then it's the same number, 164.1, but now it's grams per mole. So this tells me that if I have 1 mole of this substance, calcium nitrate, then I will have 164.1 grams of calcium nitrate. So that's formula mass and molar mass. Thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments, or if you like this video, like it, share the video with your friends. Hit the notification bell so you get notified of any new videos. Make a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Is there anything else you want me to go over? Subscribe to the video or the channel. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.